want to welcome y'all to Bangkok Trading Post. Yeah. My name is Underworld. And we're going to jam for y'all for a little bit. But it goes like this.
So yeah, friends and enemies, welcome to the ministry. So it's another episode of The Zone, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's been a while, yeah. We took a break from The Zone and be doing the normal episodes of the Other Room podcast. So we're back to The Zone. So
Zone 3?
Yeah, this is Zone 3.
Yeah, Zone 3. You know what?
Zone
I actually
3.
grew up in Zone 3 back home
yeah?
in Nigeria.
Did you?
Yeah.
What?
So when you said
Zone
Zone 3,
3.
I'm like, what? Zone 3?
Well, I grew up in
That's
Soy 3, so...
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. So
Zone 3
there's a
Soy
bit of
3.
synchronicity there.
All you have train your lives.
Yeah.
I don't grow up in Zone 3, no Soy 3, I'm fucking 3 boy.
So yeah, cool thing, man. We got my friends and my brothers and everybody here. So my name is Anthony at Grooving Tony on social media. And I got my friend from college in for life. Yeah.
My name is Taramdeep. It's your favorite brown kid.
Oh shit. Hey shit, dog.
T-Deep94
Yeah,
on Instagram.
Brown kid.
We got yeah, T-Deep the Brown Kid, and we got at Authority_ Joel
And
behind
everywhere.
the mic. Yeah,
Behind the
he's a
camera, too.
cameraman and also he's our audio guy for today. And we got a guest, man.
Special
man.
guest today.
We got a special guest. So
Man with many talents.
No, 3 of us can't
yeah.
even, we can't even introduce him enough. Like,
yeah, exactly, man. So I'll let you introduce yourself, man.
My name is Underworld. Yo, first of all, make some motherfucking noise. We here. We in the zone.
Yeah.
We here. We live.
Gunshots for that. Gunshots for that.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
can put in the gunshots later or some shit.
It's here. I don't have to put it
got it right
there.
now?
Yeah, you have your mics on, so yeah, it's all good.
Cool, man. My name is Underworld. Yo, thank y'all for having me and shit.
Man,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for coming.
Underworld, social media is Underworld, UNDA World, and Underworld BKK for Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Musician, songwriter, sound engineer. Yeah.
Great.
Producer, I guess. It's a creative, trying to create
Yeah.
and make a living off that shit. That's basically it, man.
This is legit.
Word.
You know, like,
Is that all? Dude, I know your mother. You just explain yourself.
You know, it's. I don't know, man. I don't really. It's I don't know, man. It's just a mix of like just hustling and just loving to do creative shit. So I really
Yeah.
don't try to keep tabs on what it is. It's just like just do it.
cool.
You know? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like, since I've met you, since I've seen your username, I'm usually very curious to know how people come up with
the names,
usernames.
yeah.
So how did you come up with undername? It's not just a username on social media. That's your stage name. That's your identity.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with Underworld?
So when I started rapping, I first started rapping in Chicago. I was living in Chicago, and my older brother turned me onto it. So he was like into the R&B. It's like Mary J. Blige, like back in those days, right? And so I would write my shit, but I would keep it really like low key because I was too shy to really come out with it. And then everyone used to go to the park and battle and rhyme, and I would just be in the corner, And then one day, I just had enough courage to just like spit my little like bullshit rap, about like girls or something
So
like that.
introvert to extrovert?
Yeah. And they were just like, oh shit, you must have been hiding underground, like so. That's why I took Under, and I just, but back then it was Underground the Illest, like Slick Rick the Ruler. So it's like Underground the Illest, and then that kind of was too long, for people to realize like, what the fuck are you saying? Is it Underground the what? So I changed it just to Under, and then that kind of changed, the music changed into like kind of being a more open space for like genres and like just new kind of ideas. So it became Underworld, of just like a way for me to put all these different like sounds and like live show kind of ideas and put it into a world of like of understanding and like underworld, underground, the grind, underdog, underrated, understated. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of shit.
There's a lot on there.
It's like Rocky.
Yeah. So that's where it came from.
So, like, what inspired you, though, like, touch into rapping? You know, what inspired you to move that pen?
Yeah.
You know, write music.
Man, when I was a kid, I went to go. My first rap show was Criss Cross. I went to go see Criss Cross. Remember that shit? Like jump. They wore the clothes backwards. I was like 7 years old, and I saw these kids on stage rapping, and everybody, it was like 4,000 people just going crazy.
Wow.
And I was like, I want to do that shit, man. That's awesome. So I went home and like just like tried to rap and just write little poems and shit like that, and yeah, just seeing people live on stage and hearing like just the way it makes you feel when you hear a record, especially a dope rap record. It's like it just kind of you transcend, and it was like, man, I just want to do that shit. That's all I want to do. Like,
Yeah, great. So,
Yeah.
with all of this story, how were you when you wrote your first rap lyrics or your first bar, or when you feel like you started rapping? Because I feel like every one of us at one point we've tried rapping. I think I've done that shit in my closet, and I was like, fuck it, like this is not for you.
Dude, I rap every time
Indian
I'm taking a
kid
shower.
listens to rap music, so no.
So how were you when you started rapping, or when you felt like, okay, I want to do this shit?
I think the first rhyme I wrote was when I was probably like 7, 8. But then when it was really like, okay, I really want to do this, was like 14, like 15 years old. Like, this is all I'm going to do.
And were your
Every
parents
day.
supportive at that time?
They were not supportive at that time because I was dropping out of school. I was failing out of school because I was just at the studio. I was sneaking out the house to go record. I was making my own beats and like it was like one of those things where there was nothing that could really stop me from doing that. So they weren't supportive at that time. But after high school, I got a scholarship to go to university for sound design at one of the best art schools in America. So once that happened, they were like, "Oh, all right, cool, yeah, pursue your dream. Like, you can make money off this. Go do you." So then it became cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So something I want to talk about is that I remember when I saw Underworld, because Underworld, Underground, all have these negative connotation.
Yeah.
Where anything under is like, so what kind of rap do you rap about? Because from that, I would expect that, okay, Underworld, Underground, it's something about violence, drugs.
Yeah.
What kind of rap do you rap
NWA.
about?
Yeah, I kind of rap about that. That's really the basis of it, but it's just the way I rap about it. So I still rap about street shit and stuff that I've experienced, and just even working in nightlife in Bangkok, because like you're working in the underworld, man. Like you're dealing with mob bosses. You're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not dealing with. This isn't a regular. It's just not a regular place to be working at, man. Especially at night, like
It's not a 9 to 5.
it's not a 9 to 5, and you deal with some crazy motherfuckers, and you're always in crazy in situations. So I like to rap about that shit, but also, but in the perspective of like not glorifying it, but just like this is just how
Your
it is, experience it, but also making it sound fly, like not just like boring. Like let's have some fun with this shit, and let's keep it, keep it cool. And the beats are not like hard beats. They're kind of like more R&B, lounge-ish, like, which is a like kind of contrast. It was like I want to talk about some hard shit, but make it so smooth that most people don't realize that it
Okay,
is some street shit.
I have a
you know?
question for you there.
Yeah.
I've been following you for quite some time, right? For a long time since we met the first time. I don't know if you
we
remember.
playing, we
playing
met
basketball.
basketball, right?
Podcast,
Yeah.
So I've been to your shows. I've seen your performances. I've seen you perform as an MC as well. So I'm trying to let's talk about energy. How do you manage the energy, considering your type of music? You make more of like contemporary hip hop, mixed with neo souls and fucking jazz all together, right? How do you combine the energy? Because I've seen you as an MC, and the energy is mad.
Yeah.
And then I see you as a performer. How do you combine both? Like an MC with a mad energy as a performer, who was like you perform for executive people, like people who are really rich, and you go on, you follow the vibe of your music. How do you combine both? How do you manage to switch between the energies and shit like that?
It's a weird kind of role to straddle, like to walk both sides. But yeah, I never really wanted to do hosting like that. It just kind of worked out that way because I couldn't, just out of desperation, really. It was like, all right, a friend of mine was like, oh, you should try hosting. Just try it out, and tried it out, and it ended up working out. But I always wanted to be in the background, just like making beats, never and like writing music, and never like being on stage like that. But I guess, man, like to host is like great practice for your live show. Like if you have that energy in front of people like that, and then you take it to like your own performance, you can like learn how to like work with so many different variances of groups and people that you can like flip it like at a switch, you know, especially if you're doing it like 4 times a week, you know what I mean? Like you get used to it, and you can like a DJ, I guess you can read people and you're like, all right, let's go this way, and like, you know, so I don't know if that answered the question, but yeah, it's just it's all the same thing really. Like it's the energy is exactly the same, whether it's like up top or like down low. It's still that same energy. It's just a way of like presenting it. Yeah.
So it's the way you read
really.
people, is it? Like the way you move with the crowd and make the crowd move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that, because like what Joel was talking about, I've seen you MC at Sway.
Yeah.
And I know what the energy felt like. And then when I listened to your latest EP on SoundCloud, I was like, that's 2 different personalities, you know, like this same guy who has this so much energy is vibing. And then he's like just lounging with people. So I was like, I'll try to process that, but I'm going to come back to that later because I'm going to ask you the hardest question ever tonight, or like right now, which is, I want you to describe yourself. Because I know talking about yourself is usually the most difficult question for me and for a lot of people. Because how do you actually put yourself into words?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about other things, like for people who don't know you, because I don't really know you much out of social media and seeing you in the club. So how can you describe yourself for us and your journey in life?
Okay, shit.
That's gonna be hard.
It's like, by the way, let me drop this existential motherfucking life question on you right quick. Oh shit. I want to describe myself. Well, I will want people to know that I'm a artist. Like, my number one priority is making great art, whether it's like music or like performances. Like I really put my all into this, and been struggling for quite some time doing this. It wasn't like I just woke up one day and was like, oh, let's make music. It's never been a hustle to make music. It's always been something that I take a lot of pride in, a lot of thought and care and sacrifices to do. So I would want people to know that I guess, man, that I'm
Okay,
I guess, yeah. Well, that's a tough question, man.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what to because there's so many, you know what I mean? Like, this is really all I do, dog. Like, all I do is music and sound and this kind of art stuff. So I want people to know that when you see me on shows, if you want to get into my music or if you want to get into anything that I'm doing, that I'm not here for the likes. I'm not here for. It's very selfish, but I just like to create what I want to create, and I don't really have any care or thought to critics or whatever the fuck, because it doesn't really matter to me. It's just like I just want to make something that's like eternal. So that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're live in Bangkok.
That helps. I don't know if that shit helps at all. Yeah.
We're live in Bangkok recording an episode of The Zone. If you're just joining us, so we got MC Under in the building.
What up,
my friend TD, the brown kid.
It's your favorite brown kid.
Yes, sir.
And you have your favorite fuck boy behind the scenes.
Okay, I guess we're not official with that right now, huh?
We're not.
Oh, okay.
So, like, talk about music. Like, growing up, who was your early influences? Like, in terms of music in general. Like, who?
Just like musically, growing up, a lot of No Limit, like Silk the Shocker, Master P. Of course, Nas, Jay-Z. Of course, I mean that's a given. But a lot of like DJ Quick. DJ Quick is like one of my biggest influences.
Yeah.
Like,
that is legit.
That guy
That's legit.
literally made me
That's
want to do
legit.
that. Like,
That's legit.
I can engineer, produce, and rap.
That's legit. Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
that's
you can just
legit.
touch
And
all
how
that shit.
about outside hip hop itself? Like any other genres of music that you were listening?
Oh,
to?
absolutely. Jazz. I grew up playing jazz music, so I grew up playing
Jeez.
saxophone, alto and tenor saxophone, and singing in
So
the
how many
choirs
instruments
as well.
can you play?
I mean, like, right. So I was never really say I was a great instrument player. Like, I love playing it, but my strength was more in writing, like writing music and arranging it and producing it. But I grew up playing saxophone, violin, piano, and singing in the choir. So,
I think we have something in common there. I sing in the choir too.
word?
Yeah.
No, we need to bust out a duet, man. Bust out an acapella duet for old time's sake.
Under featuring Joel.
I'm serious.
And how about what did come first? Was it the rapping and then the producing, or vice versa?
I think I was thinking about the other day because I didn't know how to. So I was always making music before I started writing raps. So I was always like, even when I was, I started playing violin in like I think kindergarten, first grade, and started playing and I always wanted to write my own songs. So like, come to the teacher like, can we do this? Can we do that? So I guess that was his early producing, right? Or early writing. So that came first. But then when I started writing rhymes, it was like, oh shit, it's over, man. Like that's all I wanted to do. Yeah.
Okay.
So something I want to ask about is you're based in Bangkok, right?
Yeah.
But you're not from Bangkok.
No.
So just tell us about your journey in life, how you ended up in Bangkok, because we're not from Bangkok except the brown kid who was born here. He's from Bangkok. He's Thai Indian. So tell us about that.
Yeah. It's kind of fucked up because I feel like I'm from Bangkok, right? Like I represent Bangkok because I moved to Bangkok in 1999. I was like 11 years old. So I grew up. I was born in Jersey, South Jersey, and then moved to Chicago, and then from Chicago we moved to Thailand, and we lived in Rayong, which is like, Rayong back in 1999, like in a small little fishing town, like. Yeah. The only black people for miles, I left a predominantly black neighborhood where like you didn't really see anybody but black people to being the only black person. It's like, what the fuck happened, man? Like people just like, why your skin so dark? And you're like, what the fuck? Like it was just, I'm black. They're like, but why?
I'm gonna ask, why are you so pure?
What? So it was that was crazy. But we lived there for 3 years. And then we moved to Bangkok in like 2001, 2002, and lived here to 2006. But in those times, so I spent my adolescent years in Bangkok growing up, and that's like, I don't know if you remember back then. You remember back then, it was like, hip hop was on top. It was like, but it was underground, right? Like this is when everyone was either you was East Coast or West Coast or some shit like that. 50 Cent was banging and like
that's how I started listening to music.
Exactly, right.
Hip-hop was 50 Cent.
Through 50. So that's what was popping. So you could go to clubs and you could battle everywhere. I used to battle. We used to do shows. I used to sell CDs out of my backpack. Like we used to, like hip hop was fun, man. Like so, that adolescence then was like I grew up watching Titanium and Joey Boy and like going to the shows and like grabbing the microphones from them when they're performing. Like, yo, I'll eat you right now, motherfucker. Like just being like that because I always had like an affection and a soft spot for Bangkok because that was like my home. Like that's where I repped. So yeah, I'm not from here, but I always feel like I'm here. And I moved to Atlanta after living in Bangkok. Graduated high school, moved to Atlanta, and was doing university there, and then working in the studios. But even then, when people were like, "Yo, where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Bangkok."
You rep
like,
Thai.
Yeah. Like I'm from Bangkok, and I would rep Bangkok at all my shows, and it makes you just stand out. Even the music, the experiences you've had here as a kid, going back to Atlanta is like, yo, I've already done like. You want to go to the club? Like, we've been going to the club since we was 14 years old, man. Yeah. Like, we've been in strip clubs, like, you know what I'm saying? We've been hustling, like, for, like, this since we was 16 years old, man. Like,
all glory to Carlson, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so I always rep that because there was always something special that nowhere else had. Like, I'm from Atlanta, from New York, but it's like, I'm from Bangkok. And when you come to Bangkok, you feel that shit immediately. So, I always rep Bangkok. Yeah,
So I'm
that was my
just going to
vibe.
ask you this. You're well traveled. I follow your journey, and I know
Yeah.
you love to travel a lot. Like literally go around the Asian countries,
Yeah.
which you enjoy doing, and you already have like a page. You and your significant others,
Yeah.
you have a page like for traveling and shit like that.
Yeah.
So what's your advice to like people who actually like me? I don't like travel that much.
Yeah.
He do. But what's your advice for people who normally don't like traveling?
Who don't like traveling?
Yeah.
Dan, you gotta help me with this. For people who don't like traveling, oh man, the advice is I just travel. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would I tell someone?
I guess
like,
you
Just do it.
You gotta tell them, like, when you travel, you open up to other cultures, man.
Yeah.
Like, see some new things. So I think people just sometimes they stay back and they don't want to try something new.
Sure,
So I
yeah.
think good advice would be just, go out there and travel, see some new things, do some new things.
Yeah, because it'll change your life, man. I would love for my boys in Atlanta and Jersey and Chicago to come visit me in Thailand, and just to like open up. Like my cousin's here visiting right now, and this is his first time leaving the States, and it's just like, woof, that's mine. Especially as a person of color, when you leave somewhere like America, where people kind of been like talking down about what you have done, and you can really see your influences around the world and what you've and I think that's for everyone. You need to experience that, realize it's a bigger world and you're not confined to one place. So yeah, it's life changing. It's it's beautiful, man. Like you have to travel. I don't want to be like one of those Instagram motherfuckers like traveling is like like the soul to what I'm saying, but like talking about those posts, but it's real. You should travel, at least even, and I know it's expensive. Maybe you might not be able to, do the whole international thing, but bus to the next city, take it to the next city, see what's going on. It's different. It's just meet new people and shit.
Yeah, just to add to that, right?
Yeah.
For me, nothing really encapsulates traveling than what you said, which is just travel.
Yeah.
Just do it, right?
go.
But one of the things for me about traveling is that I've read this quote somewhere is that traveling is the antidote to ignorance. Somehow, we all have our stereotypes about a certain place.
Sure.
Things we've seen in the media, we've read about a certain place. But we just feel like, okay, that's the truth. It's a single story. The single story is out there in the media that this is how this place is.
Yeah.
But when you get there, you talk to the locals, you eat the food, you see the beauty and the scenery and everything, your perspective actually changes.
Absolutely.
Okay, even if some of those stereotypes are wrong or they are right, but now you can say, I've been there. So you have
Exactly.
your own story to tell. You're not believing just a single story that
Definitely.
has been regurgitated by the media. So that's why I feel like I'm an advocate for traveling, that
Sure.
just get out. It doesn't cost a thing or it doesn't take anything away from you because you want other people to respect your culture and understand you. You also
Absolutely.
got to be able to understand other people by going out there and seeing
it
how
co-
they live their life.
It cost a lot. The last time we went to Europe, 7,000 euros. Dude, I'm still recovering from that shit.
But that's the thing.
But you can afford it. That's why.
Yeah.
So
I'm still recovering, man.
either way, but I feel like traveling is good. Like in the sense that not showing off for the gram or whatnot. Just like Drake said, like you want to go to Rome and post for people at home or everybody you've
Exactly.
known or shit. No,
That's
I'm
not
not about
traveling,
our
man.
life.
Yeah.
It's about interaction with the locals and seeing what they think about you or how they are. Okay, I've read that, Malaysia is racist for black people.
Yeah.
Okay, I know this is short. I'm not disputing the story that it's not racist, but here is my own story. I was there for 3 days.
Yeah.
I didn't see any police. I was not stopped. I was not racially profiled. I didn't have internet for a while. Locals tried to help me get internet
Yeah.
to be able to order a Grab taxi to take me to my hotel.
Yeah.
That's a different story. I'm not disputing the stories or the shared experiences of people who live there,
Sure.
who are black people. But here's my story. So I got to also tell my story that I was there for just 3 days, but I'm not disputing the stories of people who've been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
But that's my story.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
everyone needs to have those stories to add
Exactly.
to the narrative of what. Absolutely.
That's what fills up the bigger picture of things. So yeah. So quickly, you said like you create things. You love to create things, like you're a producer, you're a writer and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I saw like you're a founder of Kite Out, or what's it called?
Yeah,
Kite
Kite
Out.
Out. Yeah,
Kite
Kite
Out.
Out. is the-
Yeah.
Yeah, why is
it's
it
the
called
label.
Kite Out? That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started. Yo, I was. Can I talk?
Go ahead.
All right, cool,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
All right, word.
Don't censor shit.
Yeah, cool. So I was smoking some herb one day and eating at my local restaurant. And I was looking at this egg. This was like 2015, and I was like, "Yo, if we put a chain on this egg, we put a chain on this egg with some Jordans. We could make this motherfucker like a label. We could really make this." And they were just like laughing at me and shit because I'd always say shit like that. I'm like, "Yo, see that cinnamon stick right there, bro? If we put hands on that motherfucker." We can make that. So
It's a creative mind.
yeah, so I just thought that shit.
a weird mind.
I just thought that shit was so funny, man. And like Kite Out was perfect because like you hear it all the time in speech, and also like you put like Kite Out on everything, just makes it so much better. Just kapow, Kite Out, right? It just makes it so much better. So I was like, what a great way to like represent like a group of people or music or like a vibe. Like Kite Out, we could put that shit on anything, and we're only gonna make it better, you know, or make it doper. So that's where Kite Out came from.
And so under this, is it a recording label or what is it? Can
It's
you just
a-
explain it to us, like, you know, what goes under Kite Out, you know,
Sure,
what
yeah.
happens under Kite Out?
So Kite Out's like a creative media label. So that means we cover, we shoot original films, documentaries, we shoot a lot original beat sessions, freestyle sessions, and we also throw parties. We also release music and then also like collaborations with fashion brands, little pop-ups here and there. But it's just a way to really represent the local scenes in Asia because right now, I'm sure you know with hip-hop, it's either like, in Bangkok too, either you're like an old school hip-hop guy or you're like a trap guy. There's no in-between for the people who are doing like the creators of Thailand or like the Doja Cats of Thailand. Like they exist here and there's no platform for them. So we want Kite Out to be like the overall like spread of hip hop, whether it's like ignorant trap or like intelligent consciousness. We want to represent hip hop as a whole, period. Like no prejudice, none of that shit. If you're dope, we want to work with you and we want to help you. So that's it's there as a label to promote, and it's also there as to throw parties and represent and let people know there's a lot of dope shit happening here.
And when was this started?
It started in June of last
year?
year, 2017. Yeah, June 2017. Yeah.
So talking about music, talking about you trying to connect all component of hip hop, and trying to bring people together with the help of Kite Out, right? I know you make more of like contemporary hip hop, which like since I know y'all be fucking with your shit. Yeah. And at the point, I want you to stay underground, like as your name implies, right? So and I was surprised when you get recruited to Bangkok Invaders.
Yeah.
And I was heartbroken.
Yeah, really?
I swear to God. I'm not hating. I'm not hating.
I've heard this before from a few people. Yeah,
I'm not hating. It's not because I hate Bangkok Invaders or I don't like. I just feel you've been so successful doing it by yourself. Yeah. So you don't need no name tag to be. And again, I have to think again in a very in another way. Yeah. Like, what if your favorite rapper, your indie rapper or probably underground rapper gets signed to a record deal by a mainstream record label. Sure. So in a way, financially, you've been successful, right? But according to my, based on my own selfishness, I just want you to I don't want your music being diluted or going extremely. So the point is, like, when I heard, you're the last person I was like hoping that would join Bangkok Invaders.
Yeah, I've heard this from a few people.
Can you explain the transition? Like, why do you choose to do that?
Sure. I think it's a misconception of what actually I do with the Bangkok Invaders. Okay. Because Bangkok Invaders is not a label. So when they asked me to, they're like, you've been hosting around the scene for a while. We've been watching you. Do you want to join us? And I was reluctant myself, man. You know what I mean? Like, I even told AK, I was just like, man, I don't know. Like, I'm doing my thing.
I hit him up straight.
I know.
I hit AK up. Yeah. Like, is Bangkok Invader trying to monopolize the MC scene in Thailand or whatever? I hit AK up right after I saw the news. Like, no. Continue, man.
Yeah. So I was reluctant too, just because I heard so much, and but I never really like talked with anybody from the camp. I just heard shit. So when I spoke to Buddha and Ono, they told me what the deal was, and they were like, "Yo, what you're doing is dope. We just want to help you get bigger shows. So for hosting, right, and for bigger opportunities for me to do live stuff. So it has nothing to do with my music. Like I'm not signed to the Invaders. There's no like I'm not obligated to do anything that I don't want to do. So, but what they do is help me get new gigs. So if they're like, oh, we have a live show here. Do you want to rock out? Do you want to do here? Do you want to rock out here? Which yeah, absolutely. I want to do more live shows. So in that respect, it's dope. And I have nothing negative to say about the Invaders. But a few people came up to me and they were like, yo, you fucking with the Invaders now? What the fuck? And I was like, oh shit. Like a few people told me that shit.
Expanding your craft, you know, and if you're getting a bigger platform to do it, then why not?
And they're a dope team, man. So and what they do, the professional, they're about that shit. And for a while, you're moving solo for a long time. So when someone's like, we have support and we can help you with your ideas or whatever you want to do, you're like, let's go. I need this to move a bit faster. Let's go. Like, so having support with you and having a team that really will rock with you, it's valuable. And I mean, like
my
positive.
My problem with I don't have issue with them. I don't just like everybody putting head in the same place. I want competition. I want people to challenge each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like as soon as everybody packed to one place, there's nobody can start. If I see your MC performance and it's whack up because we're in the same group, I can't work together. That shit was crazy. Like, it was whack.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you the truth. I just have to hide behind the scene and just hope it's okay because I don't want you to criticize me as well.
Sure.
So I just think like everybody, all the DJs becoming Bangkok Invaders, or the MC becoming Bangkok Invader doesn't give room for growth. People won't. I've seen a DJ after the transition, they suck. I've been saying this on this podcast a lot. Like I've seen DJ moving to Bangkok Invaders and everything just went
and they just fall off and everything like that. Yeah. Well, I can say this just me personally speaking. Like I said earlier, I care about this music shit very, very, very much. I will call you out and say your shit is whack. I don't give a fuck if we're in the same group because I believe in competition. I believe in pure, and I also believe in being honest when it comes to critique.
Yeah.
I don't have to be disrespectful to tell you I'm not feeling a song. So even if we brothers, we're in the same group, I'm supposed to tell you your shit is whack, bro. Like you're supposed to tell me my shit is whack, right? Like we got to be competitive, even if we're on the same team. Because once I grab the mic, we not on the same team.
Fact.
I want to fucking. This is my stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's hip hop. That's no disrespect to anybody. That's hip hop. That's just the spirit. It's athletics. It's sport. Like, we on the same team, but I want the gold. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it is. So
I want the MVP.
Yeah, I want the ring, man. I want the ring. So I would when you say that, like, sure, that's a possibility of that happening with some people, but with me, it's like it's all about the music and the craft first.
Yeah,
so.
that's always still fucking with you.
Yes men's around. There's too many yes men's around.
I'm not with it, man. Yeah,
you gotta say no sometimes.
All about the quality, man. Really.
Yeah. Something else is that I think you got a new project out, right?
Yeah.
So tell us what you've been working on and what we got out there and everything. Just tell us about your craft.
So the new project out was called the Brunch Sessions, and basically it was a show we had at 137 Pillars Hotel, and I worked with this band. Like it was a fashion show, a Hermes fashion show, and I'm like, oh, can you do your live music? I'm like, yeah, sure, but it was like they want to do like kind of 60s slower, groovier versions of it. So we just remixed like all of my songs, 45 minutes, but we only put out four songs for the EP, and. Just to give people just to let people know that I'm a musician, because once again, you get caught up in the host thing. So it's like, oh, is this guy a host or does he make music? I've met people who have been like, oh, we didn't even know you were a musician, man. We just thought you were a host, and like we had no idea. So it's kind of just to put it back out there. Like I need people to realize that the music is what comes first, not the live shows, which is great and I'm fortunate for, but the music has to come first. So that's why I did the Brunch Sessions, and. Yeah, I got a lot of music coming out, man. Like a few new EPs coming out, new videos. There's a lot in the pipeline, and it's hard for me. I'm not really good at promoting my own shit, you know. So, and I don't like talking about shit before it's out because sometimes it might not come out. So when it's out. You know what I mean? Like,
So you don't put like a deadline or a date on your.
I do for myself. Yeah, I do for myself, and then I drop it. But I won't be like October 31st, motherfuckers. I'm dropping my new song because I've done that.
The hype and then
and it's like I'm not really feeling this shit. I'm not doing it. Yes. Next
time.
Yeah. So I just like it's out. Yeah, it's just out now. Yeah.
And I think you've been putting out a lot of a lot of APs. When are you dropping Ray album this time?
Well, that's an interesting question because I don't know if now it comes the business question.
Oh, okay.
Financially, is it worth putting out an album in today's climate? Is it worth me spending all my time putting out a 12-song record when I could put out a 3-song EP and get the exact same results? You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to streaming and it comes to doing shows, the reason I would put out a full-length album is just because it's something you want to have. Like, you want to get into the books. You want to get...
Yeah, you want to have that in your catalog.
You want to have that in your catalog, which I do want to do. But at this point right now, I think EPs is still the way to go. Just like financially and business-wise, it just makes more sense. And because shit's so fast now, people digest. You put a 12-song album out, and then the next week people are like, so when's your new shit dropping? Like, yo, I just put 12 songs out. So when's your new shit coming out? It's like,
we were speaking about attention spans, before. So I think people's attention spans are really short these days. So the lesser the music, that if you put out three tracks or 4 tracks, I think that's better.
Yeah.
People have an attention for that, short period.
Exactly.
But like sometimes you put out 12 songs, 13 songs, it's like, sometimes it's too much to digest at one time.
Sometimes it's, and then you want to keep people wanting more. So it's like, I put out 3, and those 3 songs are all different from each one. So you're like, whoa, shit, when's the next one coming? So you just want to keep people, like, you don't want to be an artist that has to consistently. Are you
working on anything currently? Like, I see that
he works all the time.
Moonshine Baby.
Moonshine Baby's going to come out October, November, and then we're hitting the road. We got some shows lined up for Quest Festival, and then some shows around Philippines, Singapore, and hit the road, and we're trying to take it back to the States next year as well. But Moonshine Baby, it's going to be a 6-track EP, working with a lot of some cool musicians, trying some new sounds out. It's going to be much harder. So I know we're talking about the contemporary stuff, but this new EP is going to be very different. It's like hard. It's like it's hard to explain, but it's very different from the other stuff I've put out. Yeah,
because something I want to add is that after listening to the Brunch Sessions on SoundCloud, and feeling the energy and whatnot, I feel like you're a good performing artist. For a rapper. Because the kind of music and the audience, and I feel I could feel the scenery. Like, it feels like there's a photographic picture of it in my head.
Sure, that's
even
dope.
Though it's just an audio. That I could feel the way you're vibing with the people. I feel like, okay, I can imagine that, okay, this is more like a lounge, and this is him performing and just rapping, and people can relate because each words came out very well in the sense that you could actually follow a train of thought of each of the words you're putting out, compared to when you're just rapping and you're going at a huge speed or a very fast speed.
Sure.
So as for that, I give you accolades for that. I respect
Appreciate
that.
that.
And
Thank you, man.
I feel like that's really good thing.
Thank you.
So my next question is, if you look at the music industry right now, it's really different from back in the days where we had record stores and whatnot. And good thing vinyls are making a comeback, which is a good one. Now it's more about trappers and SoundCloud and streaming. So what are your thoughts on the state of the culture, basically, when it comes down to recording, trappers on courtesy of SoundCloud, then streaming numbers and whatnot?
Well, I think what the internet was supposed to do didn't do for us. What the internet was supposed to do was supposed to be a place for musicians and us to have way more power and privilege as creators and kind of cut out the record labels, right? But what's happened as the record labels, the music is cool?
Oh.
This nigga was like, fuck
Yeah.
your block. He was like, man, we'll put on this Johnny Cash, nigga.
Like, yo.
Keep going. It's okay.
But what has happened is that the labels have been moved out, and Spotify and Apple Music and guys have moved in and are paying you worse than the labels have paid you now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, when it comes to SoundCloud, you're not even getting any money off SoundCloud.
Right.
You're just putting music up to promote yourself, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is dope, which is good. You need to promote yourself. But
Yeah.
you're helping SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yep.
putting your music up on iTunes, on Apple Music and Spotify. They're making billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you're making a percentage of a cent.
Yeah.
I read it takes $8,000 to get 1 million views. 1 million plays is $8,000. That's fucking crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm actually doing like what you just said, right?
Yeah.
I'm working on my master project.
Yeah.
And all about like podcast platform, which is our podcast platform. I'm going to develop an app
Yeah.
for that. And my reason, one of my major reasons is because the third party hosting companies, like where you share your music, like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, wherever, they're actually ripping you off. You don't have like, you are not making, you're making money for them. Like they're using your own content to enrich themselves and like kicking you around.
Exactly. So that's what fucked up. We were supposed to have more power with that, right? Didn't happen. But when it comes to culture, with that said, man, I think the new generation, they understand that shit. So it's like, that's why you might see a bunch of rappers put out like a 30 song, like, because it's like, yo, this is just numbers now. It's just a numbers game. People are going to play my shit regardless. It's just numbers. And we'll just see which one hits. And these kids know that they could do their own shows now. And it's like this weird double-edged sword, man, because the trappers, the SoundCloud kids, the alternative kids, whatever, there's a platform for you to do it. But you're always going to have someone in your pocket, like always. And I'm trying to eliminate that with Kite Out. That's why I was like, let's cut through that shit, man. But
And what do you think about visual representation these days?
With
I think
what?
that visual representation, like videos, making videos, music, constantly putting out music videos. Because, going back to the attention span thing, sometimes we just listen to the audio, we don't get the whole visual picture, So, what's your perspective on putting out a lot of music videos? And do you think that's really still important, in
absolutely.
this time of music?
I think that's more important than putting out the actual, like, the records. You could put out 30 songs, might know, but if you take 3 of those 30 songs and put those music videos to them, those motherfuckers are going to hit, because you can show visually what you want to do, which is a whole nother level that people didn't have back in the day. It cost too much money. Now you get a fucking iPhone 10 and shoot a video and put it up. A minute-long clip, right? And that shit could get 30 million views in the next, and then like, look at the chiggy, I'm in my feelings shit, man.
Yeah.
This is a dude just going like this, and like, it just blew up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's very important, man, to utilize that. Especially if you have a little bit of creativity behind you. You got it. Yeah.
Personally, I'm critical of music videos from an artistic perspective because I feel like it just regurgitates the media criticism of hip-hop to be all about women, money, weed, and drugs.
Okay.
That's what I see from a lot of music videos.
Okay.
And it's basically the same thing. All the rappers dropping music videos, you can always relate that. You can already know what to expect.
Okay.
Nothing unique happens. So I'm not really a fan of music videos. I'm very critical of music videos, especially when they feed into these already established stereotypes about hip-hop.
Yeah.
Because I feel like hip-hop is a big art that goes beyond just women, weed, drugs, and whatnot that's been perpetuated.
Absolutely does.
So my next question will probably be, what do you think about the state of the culture, the rap culture, hip-hop culture in Thailand?
Okay.
You read my mind.
Okay. Well, to go just to respond what you just said about the media perpetrating those same stereotypes, I think right now is a perfect time and with the internet and music. There's so much music coming out. Really, it depends on what you're watching, because I watched a day of videos yesterday and I didn't watch any with money, weed, or something like that. So it just depends on what your like audience is, because there's thousands of musicians who don't go that route.
Yeah,
and they don't get the love, and people will say like they don't. There's only this shit, but these guys it's out there, So I would say that any kind of hip hop or music you're looking for, it exists. It's there, yo. It's really there. It's like, but you just have to find it. It's there, you know. Now with Thai hip hop, I think Thai hip hop is like, it's exploding right now, man. It's exploding. But once again, there's a wider range. I still don't think Bangkok has found its unique voice. Thai hip hop has not found its unique voice yet. I'm not saying there's no dope people out there. I'm saying that when you think of New York hip hop, you think of a certain sound. You think of LA, you think of a certain sound. You think of Chicago, there's a certain sound, right? Nigeria, there's a certain sound in the music. Fine. Now, that does not exist here yet. And in order for Thai hip hop to really be taken on that level of seriousness, there needs to be an identity. And right now, there's a lot of mimicking and a lot of.
Dude, you right now you're reading my mind. Just
you know what I'm saying, though, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because everybody sounds like they're from Atlanta now, you know, with
of course,
the current
with the
music situation.
And, yeah, and there's a lot of kids who are doing or not doing that, and they're doing really dope shit. But then on that side, they're kind of mimicking another kind of hip hop. There still hasn't been someone to break through and be like, this is my sound and this is my representation of.
But I guess
what I experienced.
It's a seasonal thing. You know, it started out in the East Coast, and then it went to the West Coast, and now the South has gotten it. So I think sometimes it takes a transition of sounds to, you know, actually find your, you know, the perfect sound.
Sure.
But people need to piggyback to their own sounds, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
But to say that North, East, and South, even when the East Coast was going on, there was still hip hop in the South. It's just the East didn't know about it. But there was a sound already. There's not a sound here yet. Okay. And it's been popping since, you know, Joey Boy and those guys came up. Like, once again, I'm not hating on these guys at all. They've done some incredible shit. But if I heard Joey Boy, I wouldn't say that's the sound of Thai hip hop, right? Titanium is on another level. These guys are like mega stars. They're like, you could probably say a few songs from them and be like, okay, that's the sound of Thai hip hop, right? That's identity. But I guess if you would go back to Nigeria and someone said, what's Thai, play me a Thai record, what would you play? Like, what would y'all play?
Nothing.
You wouldn't play one, you wouldn't play any song, you'd be like, this is the sound of, like.
Because like, okay, let me explain this. Like back in Nigeria, right, we have hip hop artists. We have Nigerian hip hop artists. Most of them, rap in English. Some of them rap in broken English, which is our second official language. Yeah. And we have a lot of genre of music that is not even recognized around the world. We have Fuji, we have Apala, we have Juju, we have Afrobeat, we have a lot more, right? So we have a lot of things to reference to back in Nigeria, but in Thai hip hop, there's nothing to refer back to, except like people who want to rap in English or who think like the American style of rapping is what they want to mimic. So they just go right into it, right? So that is what I say. Like most of the kids, like I've seen some music video, and the hook of the song was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it.
Okay.
And it's all like trap oriented music.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to like. There's no way you can beat. And one thing that makes Afrobeat in Nigeria, in Africa, were recognized around the world and successful is because of the uniqueness. There's no way you can beat America on their own shit.
Yeah. Exactly, because you have to be you unique. Exactly.
Yeah. So there's no way you can beat them on their own shit. They create that vibe. They create the like hip hop vibe. Even though like even like the jazz has like a lot of Afrobeat connection, right? We have a lot of interconnected like musical style, like African and US. But hip hop is not African style. And we have hip hop in Africa too.
I get.
So there's no way it's like you're gonna rap than like you can be a best rapper in Africa, but in Atlanta you're like.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Nobody give a shit about that. But I think Thai hip hop, they really have to create a niche, right? They have to create their own style, a unique style where people can like. Okay, imagine Japan, they have K-pop.
Yeah.
They have K-pop. That's their own style.
Of course.
Right?
Exactly.
Korea has their own thing.
Yeah.
Korea, right? Korea has K-pop.
Korea has their own kind of hip hop.
Yeah, they have K-pop.
You could say you could hear Korean rap and be like, this is what Korean hip hop sounds like.
Yeah.
Right. This is what Japanese hip hop sounds like. You know that, right?
Yeah. But in Thailand, there's no.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I know there are guys who are killing it right now.
J-Park is a really good Korean rapper, isn't it?
What was that?
J-Park.
J-Pop?
I think he's Korean.
J-Pop. What group is
I
he
don't
with?
know.
I don't know. What
The
group
guy that just got
I know,
signed
like-
by Jay-Z.
Oh, Jay Park.
Jay Park.
Yeah,
Rock
Jay Park.
Nation,
Yeah. With
yeah,
Rock,
Rock
I think you
Nation.
said Jay Park. My bad. Yeah, Jay Park. Yeah, he's with Rock Nation. Yeah.
Just to talk about that, right? I have a question which is like culture vulturism in Thailand. And I feel like
Shit, that's
that
tough.
what we're talking about actually comes down to that.
Yeah.
In the sense that even some of the well-known hip-hop artists, they try to jump on whatever sound is popping right now.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is something you're talking about, that there is no uniqueness. Nothing stands out. Because everybody is trying to do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Which is, okay, maybe trap or whatever sound is out there. Without creating a niche for Thailand.
Sure.
And I expected guys at the top to be able to create that path.
Okay.
So that other upcoming artists can actually follow that and will know, okay, this is Thai's unique rap style.
Yeah.
I think one of the songs from Thailand that actually stands out for me is Kapung Kap. I don't know, Kapung Kap, you know.
Who's the
Like
band?
that, I can't remember, but I hear it a lot around. So I
probably
think that
Titanium.
sound stands out, that if you played in Nigeria, they will know, okay, this is a different form of hip-hop. But I think it's probably from 3, 4, 5 years back.
Okay.
And whoever did that song is not sticking to that same sound. He's moved on to trap, which I think is the problem.
Okay.
That for black people who are out here, we can feel it. That y'all are trying to do trap.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're trying to switch to whatever black people are doing without using the culture to actually do your own thing. So which is where I think culture of tourism comes out, which is
Okay.
like profiting from a culture you do not really promote.
Sure.
Just trying to see whatever you can gain from it. So what do you actually think on the state of the culture and people out here trying to profit from hip-hop or rap without really contributing to the culture here in Thailand?
Okay.
I don't need you throwing shades.
Huh?
I don't need you throwing shades at anyone.
No. I'm just trying to think about how to answer this question.
And protect nobody too.
No. Because it's a tough. I feel I got two ways about this. Because
Hit it.
some of it is blatant culture vulture shit. Some of it, a lot of these motherfuckers really woke up when they were 5 years old and was like, I want to rap. And this is literally what they've dedicated their life to.
Fact.
A lot of the Invaders are like that. This is why I like rocking with them. Because a lot of these guys live and breathe the shit every single day, just like I do. So I respect that. On the other side, when there's people who are obviously jumping from style to style to style and getting fake ass motherfucking extensions and shit like that, and
Oh shit.
it's cool. I mean, I get it, it's cool, but at some point it's yo, man, this is out of hand, and you don't know where it comes from. You need to for me, you need to understand what you should never forget this is black music, right? And not just saying American music. I'm saying this is black music. This
that is right.
All around the world. This is black music. We all contributed to this. And there's even been some instances when you come into certain places and they're just we're not rocking with foreigners. We're not rocking with the foreign rappers. We only want to do this stuff. It's okay, but you need to realize where this comes from, man.
Yeah.
And for you to say that. So if you would come to Atlanta. And we'd be hip hop is an open motherfucking genre. We welcome anyone if you're dope.
Yeah, that's
anyone.
fact. Yeah, that's
so
fact.
you're telling me that I can't rock with you because I'm a foreigner, not because I'm not dope. You're already breaking some hip hop laws right there, motherfucker. You're already getting called out by that shit, by the source. You know what I mean?
White people telling the Native American this is not your land.
You can't live here. It's no, this is my no. This is I live and breathe this. So with the culture vultures, that's true, man. And there are people making money. The music doesn't really bother me that much because it's all right, this is obviously gonna die out for a lot of these artists. When I see people selling streetwear, the streetwear, the legal joints, and just getting mad guap off it, or just throwing their name off it, or doing some shit on Instagram, talking really yo, what's good, all that, and they turn it off and hi, how are you? That's I don't rock with that, because then now you're just making a character out of hip hop or black culture, which I don't rock with. So yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I have an interesting thing to ask. I was always wanted to ask someone this. Like, so since you're a producer as well,
Yeah.
like, what do you think of? So we talk about hip hop, but what do you think of the Luktung sounds? Because that
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
kind of upbeat, you know, like
Go fuck with
Luktung,
Luktung, man. Luktung music is amazing.
I feel like Luktung beats could be used with hip hop, you know.
Yeah,
like,
there's a few beat tapes out there
Uh-huh.
that are, some Thai producers have done where they take Luktung records and they sample them, put beat tapes out, and then also what's this guy's name, man? Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue, but he flips Luktung records into like trap, kind of trappy, kind of like bass heavy beats that people can flow over, which sounds great. Like that's a unique art form in Thailand. Like Luktung is like that's Thai music, right? So
Because like
Yeah.
I could hear someone like in my mind
Yeah.
imagine I hear someone spit over a Luktung beat and it sounds
absolutely.
so dope, you know.
There's I think Cleo P put out a track called
Cleo.
Golden Triangle.
She's married, right? No,
Yeah, she's married. Yeah.
Okay.
She put out a track, but that was like they sampled some Luktung songs and some sounds, if I'm not mistaken. But I've heard it a few times. It sounds dope. It sounds fucking dope. So that would be a dope way to flip it and make a unique like rap track record like that. Yeah. You're giving some producers some ideas. Like, but you're about to make someone rich out here, man. Someone watch this shit like, you know what?
Think I'm gonna do that?
You know, just this is my opinion about the state of rap in Thailand.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely a lot of room for development. Like
Sure.
the culture is becoming mainstream, where you see the influence in a lot of young Thai kids like bop into black culture, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I just feel like when it comes down to the bigger picture, I feel like the hip hop scene here is monopolized.
Straight
Okay.
up.
So tell me what you mean. Like what you mean. Like,
Yeah,
sorry, I'm gonna get some
okay.
water real quick. Sorry. Like monopolize. Like, thanks, bro.
When you talk about hip hop, the general hip hop scene, the only thing you find is Bangkok Invaders.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with them.
Yeah.
But the only problem I have is that they try to monopolize everything in the sense that they get everybody, every DJ, every MC, everybody else. So there's basically no room for competition.
Okay.
And once there's no competition, you can't develop, you can't grow.
Okay.
Because it's just you don't have a mirror in front of you to be like, okay, is this right? Is this wrong?
Yeah.
So every other person is on the ground. They don't have the big platform like Bangkok Invaders. They have a platform. That's why I don't have any problem with anybody who joins Bangkok Invaders, because they have a platform you want to tap into,
Sure.
which is good. Everybody wants to make that next step in their career. But now a critique of the whole group is that I feel like they're taking hip hop back.
Okay.
Because it's monopoly. They're the only thing. When you talk about, okay, Bangkok Invader and Titanium are basically the same organization, right? Because
Okay.
they,
One out of one.
yeah,
like
it's
Titanium
basically
is
the
like a
same group of guys.
Wait, say that again. Bangkok and what?
And
Titanium.
Titanium.
Titanium is like a group. It's like hip hop group.
That's the difference. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the difference.
There's
Yeah.
just a slight difference, but members of Titanium are still in
Bangkok Invaders.
Bangkok Invaders, right?
only one.
Okay.
Who?
Only one.
Who? The boy way?
Hello.
The boy way, DJ Buddha.
The boy is not an invader.
What about
He's
DJ Buddha?
Titanium.
DJ
Buddha and Ono.
Yeah.
Buddha's
Buddha and
Buddha's
Ono.
in Titanium. He's the DJ. For
He's a DJ,
Titanium, yeah.
but he's
DJ Uno, Buddha Uno, and where's this guy? The other Dominican.
Callo.
a big Carlo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's straight. Like straight out of five.
But Ono's not in Titanium.
Really?
Yeah, Ono's not in
Oh, no,
Titanium.
I know.
No.
Ono. Yeah, Ono is like in Bangkok Invaders.
Yeah.
DJ
Ono
Ono
Buddha
and DJ
started-
Buddha formed the group, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure the boy way is not in Bangkok Invaders?
Yeah.
Ah, well, Lenny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like with the rise of more groups,
Yeah.
hip hop will rise as a result of that. And I see a lot of young kids who need platforms, but there is not enough platforms out there for them to actually show what they can do. The only main platform out there is Bangkok Invaders, and the big guys don't want to give their platform to young kids who are really hungry, because I see a lot of young kids who are hungry who wants to actually make a name for themselves, but the monopoly is not really helping the industry. That's my own thought about the state of rap in Thailand. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
But last question for me is, what are your thoughts on race relations in Thailand?
In what sense? What do you mean?
Race, basically black. As a black man living in Thailand, do you speak Thai?
Yeah, I speak a bit of Thai. Yeah.
Okay, as a black man living in Thailand, what are your thoughts on race relation, black, white, Thai people, and as a foreigner?
Well, I think Thailand is getting way more open and way more, not tolerant, but just like way more like open to having like us over here, brothers, and you see more of us walking around every day, more brothers, sisters, people of color walking around, especially with hip hop music and whatnot. It's just everyone's a bit. And Obama helped like a motherfucker. First of all, Obama when he was presidency, that shit helped like crazy. It was like this whole perspective flip was just like, oh shit, Obama is like.
There comes Black Panther.
You know what I mean? Yeah, all this shit, man. All this
Black
like stuff.
Panther had helped the culture. Yeah,
it helped. But I haven't had too many. I've had, of course, run-ins, man. Of course, I've had some bullshit, right? But I remember when I was growing up here, I had a lot of issues with people, with a lot of racism. So I can say now that when I've moved back, it's a completely night and day for me. But once again, this is really, really weird thing of when I get stopped or I get racist shit happening to me. Once they find out I'm American, they leave me alone.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a mind fuck, right? So it's like, they're like, oh, he's black. He must be. Oh, he's
African.
American. Oh, you're different. You're the other black.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck? Like it's so like I'm getting this like I guess I'm getting it to feel what white privilege feels like in a way. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
true. Like
that's American privilege over here is almost like having white privilege. Like it's okay. You're American,
Right.
and you're like, oh shit. Like, but my boy from Cameroon. My boy from Nigeria, they getting strip searched right now.
Straight.
And they're like, oh yeah, you good. You're American.
Yep.
Like, so that's a mind fuck. So when I say racial relations is okay for me, it's only because I'm American. If I wasn't American and I was born in Nigeria or born in South, it would be a completely different story, man.
Fact.
So it's still fucked up.
That's what I live through. That's my story.
Yeah.
He knows. He's my friend. We talk about these things. And I'm glad that he's here to witness you saying the other side of it, that even as a black man, you have a black privilege, sort of, which is like American privilege.
Yeah.
Because I know African Americans here have that privilege. The moment they know you're American, you get treated differently.
That's
but
true.
once they know you're African, you're black, immigrant, it's a whole different story.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, I've seen it, man.
And just like Joel was saying, right? Okay, Obama made black people cool. Fact. Black Panther actually helped advance the culture here.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Pattaya, I was at the bus station, and I just heard
Wakanda
a couple
forever.
like, Wakanda forever. And I looked back and it just acted like it wasn't
crazy,
there. And I was
man.
like, it's cool. Like, you want to do it, just do it. Like, you don't have to hide it.
Yeah,
you know,
just
like,
do that shit. That's cool, man.
Yeah, it made being black cool.
Right.
And made people be open to come talk to you. And I was so scared, you know? Like
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
So-
my own good part of Wakanda Black Panther is like that should make having the accent cool as fuck.
Right?
Now
Yeah.
you go ahead speaking like a Nigerian. I don't have to form American shit.
Yeah.
I don't have to go like trying to bite my tongue. No, I'm
You just
straight.
talk the
I'm
way you
straight, man.
exactly,
Yeah, I'm
man.
Nigerian.
That's what's up, man. That's like representation matters, man. That's what's up.
Before we end this podcast, I want you to talk about like you African American, right? And we have a lot of African living in the state, right? Can you tell us about the disconnect between the African American society and the African immigrant living in American society? I don't know if you've experienced something like that or you have a story to tell.
I got let me think, man. Because all of my African peoples living in the States have been born in America. Like their parents were immigrants and they moved, so they were born in America. So we just, you know, there really wasn't that disconnect because they were born in American culture. So, but I know there is a disconnect because obviously, you know, like, and I just found, look, so the other day I found out my ancestry, right? Because, you know, we do the ancestry test back and I found out my ancestry. So I found out I'm 72% Sub-Saharan African.
Oh,
so
you Nigerian.
yeah, nigga, yo, they were like, I'm 45 out of that 72. I'm 45% Nigerian, and then the rest is Ghana and Liberia.
I can
So
tell
I'm
from
like,
your
yo,
face.
What was
that's
the
what's up,
song?
nigga, like,
Ancestry DNA.
yeah, ancestral
Yeah.
DNA. Yeah,
I can tell from your face, man. I know you have high
Gotta do
you know what I'm saying?
Gotta go get that done.
So, and then the other 28% was European.
What was the most surprising thing, like from based off of that test? Like, what made you like, wow, I'm part of this?
The European side, because I know somewhere down the line someone got raped in my family by slave master.
Yeah.
Slave master, and I found out who it was.
Oh.
It was the great grandmother got
We
raped.
should have talked about this story.
Got
at the
raped by a
beginning.
slave master whose last name was Carter Plantation. My last name is Sean Carter. So Carter's a plantation. It was never. I don't know what my real last name was because that's just the name. He's a Carter slave.
Man,
so
it is.
that's where it came from.
This is deep.
Yeah. So
This is really deep.
So we found out, wow, she was raped by the slave master, and that's where the white side of it comes from. So on my dad's side of the family, he's really, really light. He's really light. You go back and back and back, some of his relatives look white. So I used to get like, as a kid, I'm like, damn, how come grandma's white? And he would just like slap me in the face, like, don't you ever say that. That's a black woman. But she could pass for it back in those days. But it was serious back in those days, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But once you find that out, you're like, wow, I want to go back to the motherland. I want to go experience that, you know. But then you have some interactions with some Africans who are just like, yo, you're not African. We don't even want you over here. Like, you're American, which is true as well, right? Like the
disconnect, right?
The disconnect,
Yeah.
But that was done by design, you know, like that was done intentionally.
Intentional, yeah.
So I want to build those bridges back. There's really no need for like the tension that exists between us. Like there's really no need.
I've been spending years, right? I've been spending years trying to like make my African American friends know that you are more of like African. I don't want the American part be attached. Although you was born and brought up there, yeah, we can take that away from you. But you're an African, right?
Yeah.
And it's so strange for me seeing an African telling an African American that they're not African, they're American.
Yeah.
That is really strange. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
really
It's
strange to
happened a few times. It's like, yeah, you're African, but you're not really African. You're American. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm American, but does that not take away from the same struggles we've had, bro? Like that's why so many people in America, like black people, we connect with South Africa because of the same stuff that happened. But our lineage is not South Africa. That's not where we're from. But the struggle, like that same kind of connection, that's what that's like black people all over the world. That's what we go through, man. We all go through that, bro.
I get super angry. I get super mad. Sometimes, like when I read the news and I see something, a brother just got killed in America, I was like, I can feel the pain.
Exactly,
like,
man. Yeah.
I was like,
exactly.
That's one of the reasons I don't want to go. You know, I was like, no, man. Like I can feel the pain. You don't have to be like American or African or Asian, whatever. As long as you're black, you can feel the pain.
There's that bond. Yeah. Always, man. So, yeah, man. It's. I wanna make that better.
True.
Even in the islands, man. Like, so you go to like Jamaica or like St. Lucia, they'll come to America and be like, we ain't fucking with y'all. Like
it's true.
We're not fucking with we're not. Y'all black Americans are lazy, blah blah blah. It's like, damn, there's a whole there's so much like
stereotype,
individual hate against each other.
Yeah,
but,
true.
Yeah,
yeah, it's true. There's definitely a disconnect between African Americans and African immigrants. Like some of the reasons is like, African immigrants, I've heard them talk about, the African Americans hate us because they feel like our ancestors sold their ancestors into slavery.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I've seen that also when J. Cole visited Nigeria recently.
Yeah.
There were lots of comments from African Americans like, they actually listen to hip hop out there. Whoa, they have electricity out there.
See, that's the ridiculousness of that.
So there's that disconnect that, come on, these people are just normal people and they have electricity, there's internet and everything. There's that disconnect. Yeah. And African Americans setting is part of African American community feels like African immigrants also take away from the very limited jobs available for black people.
Okay. I've never heard
those
that.
are some of the narrative that led to the disconnect, that these people coming here also takes away from your jobs. So you don't have to like them. So I feel like that's where African immigrants feel like they don't really connect
Sure.
with the African American community because they expect that there should be a solidarity that we've all gone through hardships or economic suppression and all of that. But just like what you said, the Jamaicans don't fuck with the African Americans because they feel like, oh, whatever it is they have in their head. So for those who don't understand, that's where we base the context of the disconnect we're talking about African and African Americans.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I feel like we've touched up a lot of topics. You want to talk about anything?
Yeah, I just want to ask one question I have. What was the best advice you ever got?
The best advice I ever got. So let's give a little backstory. So when I was in university, I was doing sound design for film and animation and games. My last year of university, I got an internship working at Silent Sound Studios, which is a major label studio in Atlanta. Like worked with T.I., Usher, Beyonce, Kanye West. This was back when I was just working the engineering boards. That's all I wanted to do was engineer and produce. I wasn't even thinking about doing live shows. I was only like, I want to be a producer and engineer. And I was playing my records for Usher's. This is back when they were doing Climax. Like, you know that song Climax by Usher?
Oh, yeah.
Him, Diplo.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the studio with those guys.
Wow.
Working these sessions. Like, there's countless of them, man. Like, we've had, just, you spend 3-4 months with these guys working every single night.
Wow.
For 12, 14 hours a day. So, you're going to build a relationship with them. And then at some point, it's just me and the engineer. And I'm like, I want you to play some of my stuff. Just tell me what you think. Played him a few of my records, and he was just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing in the studio?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "You need to be out there. Like, this is not for you. Like, this engineering thing is not for you. You need to be out there pursuing what you're doing because you can make this happen." And the advice he told me was like, "It's going to take you a lot longer to get where you want to get to because of the way your sound is and the way all of the stuff that you can do and the way you're trying to do it. It's going to take you a lot longer, but you're going to get there, and the rewards are going to be incredible. You just got to keep going, push through the bullshit, and stick to what you do." And I left the week after, and
wow,
I left the week after. Dog.
So now, since you've been doing this for a while now, and what advice you've gotten advice, and now what you can give to the young people who are trying to do this, what can you tell them?
I still have a long way to go, but I would say, I started quite late in my career as a musician. I started when I was like 26, 27. So before that, I was just engineering. So I would say, don't wait to start putting your music out now. Like, don't be too afraid just don't be afraid. Put your music out. Now is the best time ever for you to really promote yourself, promote your style, promote your music, the lane you want to do. And don't let anyone tell you what you're doing is like outdated or wrong or whack or whatever. Well, if it's whack, it's whack. But what I'm saying is, if you have an end goal and a concept and something that you really want to flesh out and do that shit. And if they're not down with it, fuck it. But you got to keep going. And really, man, it's just perseverance in this. It's like perseverance and being prepared. Like, you got to keep going through all this shit, especially if you're in Bangkok, where it's like, woof, there's no support for a lot of this shit. Back home, there's labels, there's certain things you can do, or there's different scenes. Here, it's like you really got to hustle, and you really got to be about that shit day and night, or else it's a waste of fucking time. You know what I mean? So keep going, give it your all, don't bullshit, and be honest, and treat everyone with fucking respect, and be cool with everyone, and you'll be good.
Real stuff.
Well, but I have a request though.
Yeah.
Do you have any song on your phone right now that you haven't put out there? That's something exclusive, something you can just give to us. Only people who listen to the podcast
that I didn't put out yet.
Yeah, that is not out yet.
Let me see.
Brand new.
Yeah, we want to have exclusive
on the Other Room podcast.
Yes, exclusive.
Let me see.
On the music, man. You have to be the first person who put it out.
Hold up, let's see. Hold up. So let me ask you a question. I know we like wrapping up. Let me ask you a question.
All right.
When it comes to like, would
Can
you
you stop the music a little bit?
Would you? Oh yeah. Would y'all like rather support an artist by buying a CD, vinyl, or like a USB with the tracks on it?
I don't know. I just like buying the CD, man.
get the
Like
CD?
I like it, man. Buy
CD?
the CD.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You
Okay,
pop
CD
in
as well,
massage,
CD?
listen to it.
I'll buy CD.
CD.
Yeah, man,
okay.
definitely.
That's good
But
to
it
know.
depends. But it still depends on the current generation. You know, nowadays everything's on the download. So
Yeah.
like sometimes putting out a CD is
But if you're at a show and like say there's like a merch table
Uh-huh.
set up, right? You come to a show, one of your artists you rock with, you like the show, you would go for a CD before a USB drive or like a vinyl.
Dude, you know,
CD, definitely.
you know they're
CD.
gonna delete your music and put other document file in your USB.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, I just like
Just
the
delete that
feeling
shit.
of
It's a
opening
1
CD,
gigabyte
man.
thumb drive, nigga. Yeah. Delete that shit. But they have them so you can't delete
You
them.
can delete it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can delete
yeah.
it.
And yeah, I get CDs sent from the States. Like when I was younger, like all the hip like G Unit stuff. I like
Yeah.
50 cents get CD. I tell my aunt, yo, just buy me
Just
the
give me
send
the
it.
yeah. That's
I like
cool.
opening the booklet and like reading about it. It's dope. It's pretty
That's
dope.
true, man. That's how you get all the. That's how I found out about so many producers and
Mm-hmm.
samples, man. Just reading the credits.
Oh man, we want to go all along, but we have a time limit.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, shit, my bad. Yeah,
No, it's not your bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
like we're trying to, like we was talking about attention span. Like
Yeah.
we want people to actually listen
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
beginning to
listen
the
to
end.
sure.
listen
They don't
to
want
the
to
show.
just throw 2 hours on people's neck. And it's
Sure,
like,
yeah,
after.
yeah.
So we just want to call it short, man.
No doubt, man.
With that being said, so how do you introduce yourself, man? I'm behind the scene, your favorite folk boy. Hey. Stand by that. Dude, I'm setting myself up for failure for sure because like I actually came to Sweden last time and I was talking to this girl and she was like, Joy, I can't fuck you because I think you're gonna talk about it on your podcast.
Damn, what?
Real
Swear to
shit.
God.
That's real
What?
shit.
Yeah.
Damn, that's good. That means your podcast is doing numbers.
Oh yeah, man.
That
Like,
means that shit's doing. She was like, oh, yeah.
I'll be forcing the bitches to listen to it, man. I was like, fuck, you gotta listen to this shit. Like, yo. I take their phone, subscribe, and comment. Hey, dude, you have to
doing
push it,
numbers.
man. You have to push it.
That's
Like,
a
you
force-
have to
force
force
marketing.
people to like.
Word.
Dude, we're not into the aggressive marketing on social media. We was like, but in real time, right? I see you, subscribing, man. I don't give a shit.
Exactly. Why? I used to do that to people. I pull up at them like, how come you didn't like my fucking post, man? It's like, yo, I didn't see it. Well, you see it now. Subscribe to my shit and like it. You're supposed to be my boy, man. Why you like it? Thank you guys, though, for real, man. This is dope, man. I appreciate it.
yeah, it's all good, man.
Thank you,
Like,
brother.
good to have you, bro.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for coming, man. And
Oh,
you know,
good, man.
this episode, this is the zone, right? It's like for people
Part
who is highly respected. We don't just like invite people to come on. It's like you have to be like,
Appreciate that,
dude,
guys. Thank you.
And I was so honored when he was like, yo, I was like, fuck. And I started telling him that, yo, Onda is coming. He was like, you're for real? I was like, you're for real?
I
For
literally
real.
watch y'all stuff, man.
Yeah, for real, he's coming.
My favorite episode with the dude. Oh man, I forgot his name. Is Big
Junior.
Big
Junior.
Romeo.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
funny as
Yeah,
fuck, man. That
Black
dude's so
D.
funny, dog. Like,
JR, shout out to
His
JR,
elevator,
man.
elevator
man.
story, man. That's
Yeah,
some
that
real
was
stuff,
good.
man.
That was good.
that was a good episode, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for
we would like
honoring
to
us.
we would like to bring you back probably with Rafi.
Yeah,
We
please,
want you to
please.
give us some insider shit.
Yeah, cool,
We'll
man.
have
Y'all
to
like-
dig
Yeah.
into insider
Anything, man. Yeah.
insider info from both of you.
No doubt.
Freestyle next time.
Yeah, I love to. Yeah, no
Oh,
doubt. I'll do that.
nice
no doubt.
idea. But it's not gonna be here. It's gonna be like probably we'll move to your studio.
Cool,
We can
cool.
really cover everything.
No doubt. Let's do that.
All right, thank you, love, brother.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Okay, man, we're signing out. This is at Grooving Tony. My name is Anthony.
TD94 on Instagram. It's your favorite brown kid, Taramdeep.
And Underworld.
Underworld. You can find me at underworld.com, Instagram /Underworld,
don't worry.
Facebook.com,
We
Underworld
have
BKK.
the contact out for them.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Underworld.